Alright, cold, rainy afternoon here. We almost got it together. So, like, overall, really good for the price we paid. So, roughly about 6,500 Canadian. Um, that's taxes and everything. That was traded, not together. We put it together. So we got two extra blades and the edger for that. And like I said, overall it's pretty good. The whole power unit and everything, really good. So far, a couple of funky things. The stupidest part, I think, is whatever they decided to do with this. Like, that's the way it was. I don't know what use the tape measure is, because it's not tape measuring anything. Like zero, well, take a look at the blades. So the fixed blade's over here. That blade doesn't move, and that's the adjustable blade, so it slides in and out. So zero's over here, whereas the blade is starting there, roughly somewhere around, no, three-ish. So the outside edge of the fixed blade is there, not at zero. So if I want a 4-inch board, I'm cutting at 7. Like, okay, that's great, completely useless. The weird part is nothing is working together. So the fixed blade doesn't line up with the tape measure, which doesn't line up with the fence. So the fence gets adjusted, and of course it's bolted down, so I need to loosen the bolts to be able to get the fence out of the way, and then I need to readjust the fence to 0 if I want to cut, like, it's just, that whole thing is just weird. So I need to get that figured out. And the other thing that doesn't really make any sense to me is these chains. So supposedly it'll cut, or yeah, I guess rip a 2-inch board. So I mean, if I put a 2-inch board in, like, I don't know what good a chain is with this thing. So that's great. That's a great safety feature to have a 2-inch board that you can't actually do. So it's got the chain on the in and out feed side, so we're going to pull this one off. When it's feeding through, it'll roll out, and it's not really a big deal. But yeah, the feed, like, yeah, you could get a 1-inch in there, but that's a 2-inch board, and it's not really any good. Other than that, the only other thing that's really weird that I'm going to need to figure out is the springs inside here, if you can see them. Yeah, see the springs holding up the back roller? And this rubber down here, it's not really doing rubbering stuff. Like, it's not quite touching, so that the roller is actually, like, the feed rollers are actually touching the idle roller at the top, like the press down roller. So I don't know how to move it, because there's no adjustment in that. The front one, the way it's set up, it's actually in between two rollers, which is good. That one's right on top of the back one. So it's going to be turning continuously, so I need to figure that part out. Overall, the front half here, very, very well made. It's all bolted solid together, so like you can get everything fed right. The way they wanted to do the outfeed cable, I'm not really convinced of. Like, if you're actually going to take it somewhere, I guess it makes sense. This back part folds up. I would much rather have a solid piece, so I think we're going to modify this to make it solid, because it's very hard to get everything leveled out when you're running a flat piece into an angle that you can't adjust, because these feet are fixed. So that's bolted in, and that's a solid piece here, so it's a little hard to do. If you get everything leveled out on flat ground, you'd be fine. It wouldn't make a difference. Other than that, I didn't put fenders on, because it's not really a roadworthy item anyway. I don't need fenders. What else was there? Oh, there's a big guard underneath for sawdust. The big sheet of metal. Yeah, maybe it's good. I didn't need it at all. So, like, let the sawdust fall and I can scoop it up, whatever, no big deal. And I didn't put the trailer hitch on yet. If we end up needing to tow it, whatever, but I can just push it in and out where I need it. So the hope is, now it's actually sitting backwards, we pushed it out of the rain today, but the hope is that we can turn this around and board comes off the sawmill onto the edger if it needs to, through the edger, and we're on our way and the board's done. Instead, right now we have a massive freaking pile of top, like sideboards and flitches and everything sitting there that I need to go through. So that's why we now have this, that hopefully will do its job. I really like the top rollers. Top rollers are good. Like, send it through the second guy if you have a second guy. Feed it back and forth. One thing too, you got neutral, forward neutral and reverse on the switch, like the hydraulic switch. I'm probably going to take that lever off because I don't really see a need for it if you can't walk around the machine and hit it if you need to. So I'm just going to, we'll see how it works, but I think I'm just going to flip that upright. So then you just do it by hand. Came with 14 horsepower Kohler electric start, which is really nice instead of the freaking pull start in the sawmill. The way this thing was packaged actually was really impressive. I was very much impressed. It came in a crate. Everything was wrapped in poly and everything. So that was good. Stupid part is with no instruction manual. I don't know. I guess you just need to kind of know what you're doing to put it together. We're going to start it up here in a sec and see if it does anything. And hopefully it'll work out. So we gave it a try here, and it works really good when you're using two blades. It just ripped through, and 6-inch board, no problem at all. This fence thing is still kind of funky, so we need to get that figured out where it can just flip up and flip back to where we need it if we have a one side, like a half edged board, I guess. So get something in here that it can just, and the only other thing that was kind of funny, there's a little green light here. So you probably see it in the video there. So there's just a little tiny motor inside here that turns and the green light comes on. So when you get the RPM going, the green light comes on. I don't know if that means anything or not, but it works. And yeah, I mean, it's going to take a while to get it figured out. Once we get some type of like proper system here that we can actually see what we're doing, because especially now that it's getting dark, you're standing back there. You have no freaking idea what this little tiny number is here, which is freaking impossible to figure out. Because, well, right there, that's 6 inches. At like 8 and whatever, 9 inches. 9 inches is 6 inches, and you can't see it from 8
That's
feet away.
what she said?
So that's useful. So, yeah, other than that, all that stuff worked great. Started right up, no problem at all. And I guess we'll see how it goes.
So for 6,500, is it thumbs up?
6,500, yes.
Okay.